It was switched on.
No. Yeah.
Oh, is it working now?
Just off.
I have 7 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew.
This is live. This is what's going on.
Oh, right. It was switched on.
You are now live.
Oh, I am live now. Ho, ho, ho. Hello, hello, hello. Well, this is Annie Softpot having technical difficulties. I apologise for our late arrival, but welcome to the Saturday Softpot Club. Now, with any luck, hopefully this is going to YouTube too. So, oh yes, it would be very nice as well. But if anyone's there on Facebook, please say hello. Just say hello. It would be lovely to hear from you. Last week I did the technical thing, and actually I was in splendid isolation, all by myself, and it was just awful. Nobody could join me. I couldn't feel anybody there with me, and it was like being a fart in a bottle. It didn't feel right at all. I do like it when people join me. Well, it's a lovely, lovely day today, but here we are in lockdown. And I just thought that I'd show you a few examples of softpots that I've got here with me, some of the weird and wonderful ones. And then I give you a quick tour across the way of bigger pots outdoors at the Softpot Garden across the road at Bow Grove. So, anyway, let's have a go. Softpots, if you don't know, softpots are handmade fabric plant pots, suitable for any plant, indoors or out. When you make them, they make you happy. And this is an example of one. There's Steve doing something. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? Right. I mean, here is a little example of one. Now, this one is over 7 years old. I don't seem to see anybody trying to talk to me.
No, I'm trying to get that up right now.
Oh, right, thank you. Yeah.
There.
Up there?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh, gosh, that's really tiny to read. I can't see that. Bigger.
I don't know how to make it bigger. Look, so massive.
Refresh. Where have I gone? Anyway, I was just showing you this old beast, and this is a very old softpot. And I found a bit of junk. It was a clock, and I put the clock in the softpot, and they've been together ever since. And many people will remember this from York 7 years ago, and it's just grown bigger and better because in softpots are kind to plants, much kinder than conventional plants and conventional pots. And I just thought I'd bring this old bird in just to show you. And then I thought I'd bring in some of my weirder and wonderful ones. Now, this is a cute little girl. I felt sorry for it in a second in home base and brought it home with me. And as you can see, this is just a pretty little bonsai type thing. And the thing is that plants in softpots are plants with personality. And you can make them to fit anybody's decor, anybody's outdoor scene. This is a simple little one here. Now, this is a plain softpot. And as you can see, it's just beautiful, isn't it? It's just plain. And it's got inside it, it's got one of those little what's-name trees. But I thought it was a bit boring on its own, so I put another plant in there with it. And what I'm going to do is, now it's all nicely settled in, I'll probably just dress it up. Softpots are like Barbie dolls. If you don't like the top dress, you put another one on. And softpots are made from ladies' tights and stockings. And I'm going to show you how you make softpots from ladies' tights and stockings. And it's so easy and just so much fun. And the lovely thing is that the roots grow normally. You don't get root spiraling like you do with conventional plant pots. And whether they're big, small, indoors or out, you just can't go wrong. Now, let's go. I've gone back to that. Yes, hello. Oh, managed that. Give myself a gold star. Right, going to take this off. And, got a bit of weirdness. many of you will remember this little carnivorous plant. I've been bringing it in for the last 2 years, and it's been outside, gone through all sorts of really, really severe weather conditions. But this again is to show you that this is how, you can involve things with soft pots. You can involve sculptures, clocks, statues. And here it's just a nice little bowl, but the soft pot's been in there for years and years and years. It's got really, really mossy, and it's very happy. You can see it's flowering. Yeah? I wish I could read. All your comments are so tiny, I don't know how to make them bigger. But I can see that some people are there. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Much appreciated. Now, I've got some more weird and wonderful stuff, and it's to do with seeds. Soft pots and seeds, it's not the perfect thing because, soft pots are flexible and they move. So seeds aren't particularly happy. You can't move a soft pot when it's got seeds in it. But I thought that what I'd do is I'd show you some examples of, soft pots that I've got across the road, different sizes, different shapes, different forms. And then when you come back, I'll show you some of my seeded soft pots, and they are weird. I've been growing some of them on my washing line. You wouldn't believe what you see. So, hold on a moment, and let's go. Opening video.
Hello, here's me, Annie Softpot, out here in the Softpot garden across the road at Bow Grove. And I'm just doing give you a little tour of some of the soft pots that I've got here. Now, some of them have come from Henshaws and they're not for sale, and unfortunately they're mixed in with some that are for sale. But I just wanted to show you the scope of soft pots. Now, that is a soft pot pancake, and as you can see, it's growing quite a lot of different plants in there.
I'm alright.
And the other thing is about soft pots, is that that's a moss pot there, and that little camellia I've had for many, many years. The lovely thing is, about soft pots is that the roots grow normally, so you don't get root spiralling. Now, that is another soft pot, and it's a moss pot, and this one is a very, very pretty little crab apple. And I just want to show you that soft pots aren't necessarily small. Because when I make them in the studio upstairs, and they tend to be tiny, but these are not tiny. These are to show you you can get much, much bigger ones. And there's another soft pot pancake, and that one's lovely. That's got hyacinths coming through as well.
Thank you very much. I'm very
and
impressed.
It's very, 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 very pretty. Now, they're perfect for herbs, shrubs. That's a very pretty little rosemary there. Isn't that gorgeous? Those are painted soft pots. Those are what I call the blessings. And my response to see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil is I see, I hear, I speak. But I think more people need to actually speak up these days. There we go. He's really old as well. Thing is that a lot of soft pots, I keep them because after a while, you get really attached to them. And it's really hard to sell them, actually. Really, really hard. That's a bulb bomb. Still coming through. And as you can see, soft pots just take up such a different form. There's Jemima in the background. There are my people. They come to the Great Yorkshire Show. They come all over the place with me and have done for many, many years. And again, it's just integrating a piece of tat that I found in a second-hand shop. And again there's my dinosaur. And again, another bit of tat, and you think, oh, what am I going to do with that? And then you turn it into a soft pot. And then you think, yes, now I know. And you don't have to be creative with soft pots, You can make a soft pot and you can't help but make it beautiful.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift, and that's why they call it the present. By Eleanor Roosevelt. And it's a lovely one to remember by. because every day is a gift. And I feel very, very happy and very, very privileged to be alive and living in this time, in this space, in this world, because it could be an awful lot worse anywhere else. And there we go. Just to give you some idea, I mean, this is in the car park, and this little garden here is just in the corner of the car park. Thought I'd show you. This is you can sculpt softpots too. That's my spider. And there we have a little skimmier wearing a skirt. And that's quite a nice big one. Had that one many, many years. And that's just about to come into flower. So as you can see, there's just so many strange things that you can do with softpots. And in the end, the only limit is your imagination. Now.
Hello, welcome back. Well, now you saw some of the things, some of the scope of softpots. You have to think flexible plant pot. And after you've made 3 or 4 of them, you get to the point where you sort of enter a whole new different dimension. And you get what I call softpot eyes. And then everything you look at, you think, oh, can I put that in a softpot? Can I wrap a softpot round it? Can I stuff a softpot into it? Oh, there is no end. The only limit really is your imagination. Now, I just thought, actually, I've got these knocking about, so I thought I'd just show you this one. This is a happy little job. He's been with me for quite a while. And if I do the close-up, there we are. And you can see, it's just lovely, isn't it? And the lovely thing is, is when you make a soft pot, if you make it the soft pot to actually reflect the colours that are already in the plant, you just can't go wrong. Just can't go wrong. And it's like, if you've got beautiful blue eyes and you wear a beautiful blue jumper, it just enhances your blue eyes. It's just the same with the soft pot. Reflect the colours that are already in the plant, and you'll see the plant will just go, hello, I'm beautiful. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Right, anyway, that's the flowering jobs. I've shown you some of my more unusual ones. And, wait for this one. Now, as I was explaining earlier, seeds are not the easiest thing to do in soft pots unless you're not going to move the soft pot. Because they're sort of flexible, seeds when they're starting, they need to feel secure. And so they don't really need to get moved and lifted around. But I just thought I'd show you it's possible to start seeds off in soft pots. Now, this is a little one that's been hanging on my line. And what is it? Sweet peppers. There we are. And it's basically a soft pot. I've cut the a pop bottle off, brought the stocking right over the top, and that acts as a sort of insulation for it, and a protection against the cold too. And so anyway, I've got sweet peppers in there. That's one form of soft pot that you can hang on your washing line. Now this one, I started this one off a while ago, and it suddenly sprouted. And as you can see, it's doing quite nicely. Now that's just like a little soft pot. It's got a rim on it, and I think there's lettuces in there. And that's the trouble when you do with seeds, isn't it? You finish up so many little plants. But just to show you that it is possible to do your seeds in soft pots, here we go. Don't say you haven't seen it now. And this is another one. This is a nice, pretty soft pot. And what I did was I just cut the top off a bottle and stuck that over there to act as a little mini protection greenhousey type thing. And again, very, very pretty pot. If you can see it, if I do it on a close-up. Yeah, there. And all I did was cut the top off a bottle there, put the seeds in, put the bottle on top, and I think that I've written on the side there that that's rocket. So let's see what happens with them. But again, very, very, very pretty pot. Can't go wrong. Full front, yeah. There we go. Whizzing through these. And this is of interest. This is an aloe, and I just happened to pop in a bit of ivy with it. And again, you can see it's very, very pretty, and that is actually a necklace. Because the thing is that Soft pots can wear feathers, beads, shells, sweet wrappers, milk bottle tops. They are. It is cut. It is cut. It it's like dress designing. You design a dress for your soft pot, and this one actually happens to have a bit of necklace in there as well. And you can see these sort of bits here. And basically anything that's shiny, glittery. Soft pots give you the right to go out there and release your inner jackdaw. Anything shiny, anything glittery. Well, there are a few caveats, obviously. But I'll tell you about those in a moment. Right, how do you make a soft pot? Well, soft pots, they start off always with the sheerest, shiniest, glossiest stockings or tights you can get your hands on. Ideally, even if you've only got one leg of sheer, shiny, glossy, that's what you want, because that can make all the difference between a soft pot looking great and a soft pot looking really, really funky if you use very heavy duty tights. But it always starts off with a leg of stocking or tight. I'm just going to chop the end off this stocking here. Ba 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 ba. And you know something? If you're in lockdown and you don't know what to do, get a kit. The kit makes 20 soft pots. Or you will need more stockings and tights. But use your own, ideally. I'm just tying a knot there because I want it to be a bit wider, I think. Or I could start it off at the base and have a smaller soft pot. The higher up you start, the wider the base is going to be. Now, there we are. I mean, people say black. You can use any colour you want. Any colour. I found over time that black seems to shine all the colours through, and it's lovely, lovely. Sometimes blonde stockings, they're really good for things like sedum and cacti, but they look more like stockings and tights. Whereas the black, for some reason or other, just makes it just transforms it. So I've just got this ring. Now the ring comes with a kit, and I use the ring again and again, just to hold the leg of the stocking open while I'm shoving things into it. Now, all soft pots start off with a bit of gravel, and ideally it should be washed gravel, but if you go out and borrow some from the garden, just give it a little wash, just get rid of the slug eggs and any sand, especially if it's going to be an indoor pot. It doesn't matter so much if it's an outdoor pot. The indoor pots, definitely give your gravel a bit of a wash. Got it there in the base of my pot. And what I'm going to do is, here I've got a mix of compost, and it's just compost that's right for the plant. Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. As long as you've got the right compost and Softpot Gold. Now, Softpot Gold is the secret of the soft pot. Here we go. Now, this is Softpot Gold. Let me just see if I can do this, and I'll put it there. And then give you a close-up. Ooh, it's technology. Yeah, there we go. And you can see it's like little chunks of gold. And it's ever so light. And what it is, it's a natural mineral. It comes from volcanoes, and they blow it up like popcorn. And when you mix it in with your compost, that's what stops the compaction happening. Because tights these days, they perform their remit really well. Their remit in life is to constrict. And if you just put compost into a leg of stocking, it'll just constrict the compost, and eventually it just turns into a rock hard block. And it's no good for the plant, and no good. It is not a soft pot. It's a snot pot, because it doesn't perform properly. What you need is Softpot Gold. Now, you can buy this from my website, just a bag on its own, and each bag will do up to 20 soft pots, and that is what you need. And what I do is I take 3 scoops of compost and add 1 of Softpot Gold. If it's a plant that doesn't want lots and lots of water, it wants a drier environment, put in less Softpot Gold. If it's a plant that's going against central heating, indoors, you only want to water it once a week, then put in 1 of Softpot Gold to 3 of compost. And that's what I've got mixed up in here. I've got compost and Softpot Gold. There we go. Ooh, let me see if I can do that. Da-da-da. No, closer, closer. There we go. Yeah, there we go. See, it looks like a scrummy sort of cake mix, doesn't it? Great, great. Right, back to full front. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mix that I've got here, and I'm going to stick it in my leg of type. Now, the best thing to do is actually let gravity do the work. Just hold it over the bucket, and then just drop it in, and with any luck, it'll all drop down to the bottom in a nice loose pile. And that's what you want, a nice loose pile. You don't want your soft pot all jammed down. You want it nice and loose. Now, there we go. I've filled up my stocking leg. I've got my gravel compost mix. And now I'm going to do something called the bounce. Now, the bounce brings out your inner child. And children absolutely love it. Always make sure it's on a liner or a bit of paper or something. Don't do the bounce on gravel because you'll spring a leak. But even if you do spring a leak, I mean, soft pots are very forgiving. Just whack another layer on the top and seal it in. So there we go, doing the bounce, doing the bounce, doing the bounce. I don't know if anybody's joining me or not. I can't see. I can see some things coming up. Hello. If anybody's watching me, hello, hello, hello. It's Annie Softpot Club. Thank you very much for joining me. We're doing all this technical thing. I've got this whole new technical setup, and it's really very good. I just need to get grips with it. Last week I was entirely on my own, and I felt really, really lonely. This week I seem to have people on there, but it's in such tiny writing that even with my glasses I cannot read it. But thank you very much for joining me. Now, what I've got here is I've got my leg of stocking, and I don't need the ring anymore. I mean, you could use a ring as a collar, but there's better things to do with collars. You can use, all sorts of different things, necklaces, bracelets, all sorts. Now, I'm going round and I'm doing the donut. And the donut is all about feeling for any lumps in your compost, because you don't want lumps in your compost. And some compost, they don't just have lumps, they have logs. If you've got a log and you can't squish it, get your hand in, get it out. Right, what have I got there? Now, let me show you. That is a naked soft pot. It's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Now, if you put that outside, that will grow its own moss, its own patina. When it gets wet, it shines. And you can see soft pots like this. This is a naked soft pot. We're going to continue, and I'm going to decorate it. But I just wanted you to know that, this is just wonderful, just on its own, even if you have no decoration. And the nice thing is, at Christmas time, those little Christmas trees, little fir trees, pop one of those in, make a naked soft pot, get a bit of felt, cut it down in a wiggly pattern, stick it round, and you've got yourself an instant Christmas pudding. It's just lovely. Right, okay, here we go. Now, what am I doing? I'm going to get a plant. Now, it would be, I thought that maybe what I'd do, have I got a plant? Oh, that'll do. All you need is one tiny little plant to make you happy. You've got no idea the pleasure a single plant can bring you. And, this is the thing about soft pots. You don't need loads of plants. You don't get a bad back from digging. It's all the pleasure with no work. Now, I'm walking my hands down. I'm going to stretch it. And then I'm going to take my plant. Maybe do a close-up. Yeah, I'm going to take my plant, take it out. Come to me, close your eyes, come to me. I always sing that song when I'm getting a plant out of its pot. And I realise that it's the song that the snake sings to Mowgli when he's hypnotising him. Whether I think I'm hypnotising my plants. But here we go, got one plant out of its little pot. Going to pop it into my soft pot. Going to bring that up over its head. Now, I might not normally do that, but because I'm teaching, that's the best thing to do. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So, got my thumb. Going to stick it on its shoulder. Going to bring up the compost. And I always tend to think of it like putting children to bed. You pop them into bed, and now all you do is bring up the compost like blankets and just tuck them in, up to their neck. There we are. You can see it there. Very nice, very nice. Right, now I'm going to take a slice of tite from a bit of tite that I've got from somewhere else, and I'm just going to take that tube and I'm going to put it round the pot there. Now this is a classic soft pot. It's reusable. The simple soft pot, which is the one I usually teach first, is not reusable. But having said that, you can chuck it and you can play ball with it and it won't spill. And it's a perfect soft pot if you travel a lot, if you move a lot, you live in a house with clumsy people and animals and dogs, then the simple soft pot is good. But this one, you can actually reuse it, recycle it, and it's very, very, very flexible. It does a lot of different things. Now, if I wanted to, I could take a bit, this is where you can use a bit of heavy duty tite. Take a bit of heavy duty tite, and I'm just going to pop that round there. And then I think you'll probably see that better. Yes, there we are. Right, when it comes to decorating your soft pot, the world is your oyster. You can use almost anything, but there are certain things that you really, really want to avoid, and those are natural materials. Natural materials, when they're between the layers, they rot, and they go slimy and disgusting, and it's just horrible. So always, always stick to things like this. These are synthetic materials, and anything shiny, anything synthetic, I only have one exception to that rule, and I'll introduce you to that in a moment. But when it comes to decorating a soft pot, what you have to think is fairy going to the ball. Fairy going to the ball. And you'll find that hopefully your inner fairy will find you. If you can't find your inner fairy, don't worry, by the time you finish making your soft pot, your inner fairy will have found you. No problem. Now, fairies that go to the ball wear beautiful dresses, ball gowns. What's underneath the ball gown is a petticoat. And yes, we put soft pots with petticoats here. Now, let's have a look. Bit of purple. Now, I often use this, and it's just a great, I'm ripping it down, going to wrap it round there, but any synthetic material will do. Any synthetic material will do as a petticoat. You know, I tend to use this because it's easier and it's cheaper, and if I go to second-hand shops, I can finish up with all sorts. I do go to second-hand shops anyway, but this is quite convenient. And all the bits I just chop up and put them back in my bits box there. Now, I've got a little petticoat there, ready for the ball gown. Now, this behind me, this is colour grass, and this is the only natural material I can use. And what it does is that it adds colour, but more importantly, you don't need much, but it acts as a grip for everything else that you might put on your soft pot. And it's what makes it good for children, because the soft pot gold, the colour glass holds all the other bits, and you don't need sharp pointy pins. Yeah. All you need really is a blunt pair of scissors and the ability to tie a knot, or get someone else to tie the knot for you. Right, so here we go. What have I got? Let's have a look. Let's have a little bit of green. Now, the thing is, that's a ball inside colour grass. You get about 9 balls of colour grass in the kit. This is just a little bit of one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff it up light as a cloud. And I can blend them, I can mix my colours. I'm just going to pop that round there. And there, that's the basis of my ball gown there. And I can add other colours as I choose, just a little bit of everything. Whatever I like. And this is where the therapy of soft pot comes in. because you always have so much choice of things you can do with Softpot, and what you do and what you produce, I mean, really, you can't go wrong. It always turns out beautiful. But it's also very telling by the colours that you use, the different materials. I mean, sometimes I can tell if I'm getting poorly long before it actually manifests itself. Now, what else have I got? Any other colours I'd like to add? Ooh, I could add a little bit of blue. Just a little streak of blue. There we are. Now, what else can you put on a soft pot? Woolly bits. Now, things like this. I've taken most of my wool and put it in somewhere else. But never mind. Anything with texture. Anything with texture, glitter. Again, ideally acrylic. You want acrylic wools, but sometimes if you can't tell and it's been outside for 6 months and it was wool, then it sort of goes a bit mouldy looking. But having said that, I rather like it. I call it patina. But if you don't like it, just take it out and wash it off. Because Softpot's washable, you know. Right, what else have I got? Ooh, let's have a bit of this, ooh. There we go, bit of this stuff. This is sort of glittery, shiny, got holes in it. Anything with texture, anything with a bit of shine, and I mean the whole thing is totally random. Now, if anybody else had invented Softpots, they probably would have been really prescriptive. But because it's me, and I've always been very random, these are bits of shiny stuff. Now, I keep them in my bits box, and any bits that I've got, I can sometimes just take them and just pop them in. Again, the colour grass holds the material, so you don't need pins or anything. You just pop it under, pop it on top. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And let's have a look, a bit more shiny stuff. There we go. And it's beginning to look more like a fairy going to the ball. I mean, people always say to me, how do you know when you finish? I always say, when it looks like a fairy going to the ball, that's when you stop. And if you don't like what you've done, just undo it. Use the same gubbins, start again. Very, very easy. Right, and so much fun. Just so much fun. Now, I could keep on going. I've got Christmas decorations. They're quite good. A little bit of one of those. There we are. Now, when you see Christmas decorations at Christmas, if you're a soft pot maker, buy them. Because all of a sudden they just disappear and then you never see them again. The other thing I use sometimes are wigs. You know those fright wigs that you get in the pound shop at Halloween? They're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I still can't read anything. I sort of feel like I'm still feel like I'm here all on my own. But anyway, if I'm not, thank you very much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Now, what do you think? Do you think that looks like a fairy going to the ball? Now, when it comes to sequins, I justify doing sequins because I'll reuse them. When I've finished with the soft pot, if I'm not going to reuse it and plant straight back into it, I'll open it up, take out the gubbins, including the sequins, and reuse the whole lot. So that's how I justify sequins. Now, it doesn't look like anything, and people tend to forget that there's a plant in there. But there is. And you know, there is just so much therapy. All that chaos, there you are, chaos, totally random, could be anything. In an instant, I'm going to convert this into something that is of beauty. And you know something, it works, it's therapy. All that chaos, dump it on your plant, turn it into a soft pot, and it's beautiful. And it's just immediate gratification. And you just love it. It opens up your heart chakra. and you fall in love. And that's why I have such trouble. That's why I have so much trouble selling my soft pots, because after you've had them, you know how good they are. The plants do really, really well because there's no root spiraling. They can absorb the ground and the rainwater. They can breathe. They don't heat up in the sun. They don't freeze in the winter the same way. So many benefits. And so flexible. Just walking my fingers down. Going to take that over the top, down to the bottom. Going to pick it up. And bring that down over my hand. Anything that's below the level of the pot, I'm just going to unceremoniously shove it back up. And then, now I could leave it just like that. That is, now I know I haven't moved. There we go. There. Now, you see that neckline? You know, that's a nice sort of tight neckline. That could be very, very, very nice indeed. Actually, that is very nice indeed. Maybe I shouldn't move it any further. But let's push it a bit further. I'm going to get my fingers in here. You can hear the stretching. Stretch. Drop it down. Drop it down inside. And then the whole thing drops down inside the pot. And I'm just taking that collar and I'm just stretching it and dropping it down and turning it inside out like that. Now, I have got another plant, and if I wanted to put another plant in, at this point, this is where I do it. I get my fingers in and I would stretch that pot. And I've got that. Let's have one of those. It's got a little bit of that colour in it. And I'm going to pop that in there as well. And just pop it in, pop it down. And then I'm just moving up the compost around it. There. And bringing up the compost and tucking that plant in. So now there's 2 plants in there. And I'm just teasing this up. Got that? Yeah. Now, in order to do the twizzle, I'm going to have to tie this plant. Now, the twizzle's important because I find a bit of time. I'm just looking for a bit of tight. Going to take that, going to wrap that round and just tie it. Now, I can undo this later if I want, but it does create rather a nice collar. Now, there we are. There's my soft pot, and you can fiddle with it, you can roll it. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it upside down. And you see, this is why you need to tie it in, because if it's a loose neck, the whole lot drops out. But then I'm going to turn it upside down and twizzle it. And by twizzling, I'm forcing as much tension as I possibly can get into that stocking, making it as sheer as it's possible for it to be. And voila! Now you can see how the colours have jumped out. Now all I'm going to do is make a simple knot underneath. As close to its bum as I can possibly get. And then, once I've cut the umbilical cord, so to speak, my soft pot is formed. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll that and give it a bit of shape. And then what I might do is see that neckline there. I don't know if you can see. You see that collar? But this is a nice big full pot, so now I'm going to cut that and release it. And then I'm going to finish up with a pot that the neckline on it is just
Just tuck that in. I've brought up the compost from inside around the plant. And so there we are. I've now got myself a little soft pot with 2 plants in it. And I'm going to give it a nice little amphora shape, I think. Might just squash it a little bit. Show that front edge. Very, very, very pretty. And that's how easy it is to make a soft pot. Well, actually, that was quite complex because it's got 2 plants in it. If you just did it with 1, that's the best way to start. Just do 1 plant. And every single one of them, you know, has got something sacred about it. So, there we are. 1 happy little soft pot with overflowing bubbles of texture. That's a lovely green, isn't it? That's just such a beautiful green. Can I show you that way? It looks a bit dark on my screen. But that's how you do it. That's easy, isn't it? And all you need to do, you know, if you want to have a go at making soft pots, is go to my website, softpots.com. This is what you get. This is a soft pot kit. And it's got balls of colour, loads and loads, goes a long way. It's got the step-by-step guide, shows you how to make a simple soft pot. It's got the ring, it's got petticoat material, it's got glittery bits, it's got shiny bits, it's got woolly bits, it's got all sorts of bits there to get you going. And then, in here, you've got 5 scoops of Softpot Gold. And that's enough to do 20 medium-sized soft pots, that size that I've just done. Many more if you do them smaller. Of course, you can. Once you've made one that's, you know, you get used to it. After that, you can make smaller ones using knee highs, ankle highs, but they are figglier, and it's worth knowing what you're doing first before you try and do a small one. But the season is upon us, isn't it? And here we are in lockdown. There, that's kit. £25. Well worth it. Months and months and months of pleasure. And certainly in lockdown. And you know, for children, it's often the first time they have any real connection with a plant. So if it's for children, use ivy or something like that because they get a bit battered the first time. But after they've finished, it's just the best connection and they will love their soft pot. Absolutely love it. But at the moment, things are stressful, aren't they? I mean, you know what gets me is that I still do. I go to a group called Rainbow Circle, and we meet in a field every year. And it's Magic Hat, and people just turn up. And there is no selling allowed apart from market day on Saturday. And every time I go there, it's like, when I first get there, all I want to do is go into town and go to the shops. And then there's a point, there's a Rubicon, and all of a sudden I find myself thinking, I don't want to go to the shops. It's really, really nice. And then, though, I find that because there's no distraction, I can't go out there and distract myself with buying something, my stuff comes up. And every time I go to Rainbow Circle, it's like a shamanic journey from beginning to end. And yep, because I can't go out shopping, my stuff comes up. And you know, I think that in a way that's a bit like that in lockdown. People can't go anywhere, they can't buy anything, they can't distract themselves. And, you know, your stuff comes up. And making a soft pot is just the best way of dealing with your stuff. Turn it into something beautiful that you love. And, you know, here, you know, with all this technology, I can't give this to you and say, give it a squeeze. But it's like your plant has a body, and it's beautiful. And you just love soft pots. And when you see how well they do in soft pots, there's no doubt about it. You're being kind. And, you know, I mean, we're always banging on about kindness now and before. And now, you know, people are being really, really kind to each other. And
And there are so many good things to come out of this lockdown, I think. The peace in the land. Every day feels like Sunday, doesn't it? It's wonderful. Anyway, I guess that's it oh, I'll give you a little close-up there of my soft pot now. Look at that, I've got lazy Susan that's turning. It's not lazy anymore. But there we are. That's a little soft pot, and it's just beautiful, isn't it? And anybody can make it. I'm no artist. It just happens. It's a magic. There's a magic in soft pots that, can't be conveyed until you actually try it yourself. But anyway, between now and then, I do hope some people have joined me. Thank you very much. I can see tiny, tiny little writing that I can't possibly read. But thank you for sticking with me. I've tried all this new technology today and got it wrong, got it right, got it wrong again. But I'm going to just keep going and learn like Pavlov's dog which button to press. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining me today on the Saturday Softpot Club. Get your kit, make a kit. You know, have fun. Open up your heart chakra and love. Just a simple little pansy there, that's all you need. I overdid it with the other one. But anything you want, it's all possible. Between now and next week, I won't wish you as much joy and ease as possible. And